All right, now that we're in Showit, let's go ahead and look at how we can optimize some of these technical SEO best practices on our Showit website. The first thing that we're going to look at is the SEO titles and the meta descriptions. So once you're logged into Showit, go ahead and click on your home page, then click the page tab up here in the top left, and then click on the page title right here. Once we do that, we're going to see SEO settings in the right-hand side, and this is where we can actually update the SEO title and the meta description. I'm not going to go too much into detail about what you should write in there. I do have a really great blog post in my blog. If you go to morenocollective.com/blog, you'll find the search box there, and you can just type in SEO title, and you'll see the article there. I highly recommend reading that before you go and add titles and descriptions to each of your pages, because there is an ideal SEO title format that you should follow for every single page. So that's step number one. Go through every single Showit page and add a page title and meta description to every single page. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to check the headers and the code organization. So how do I do that? That's where Browseo comes into play. So Browseo.net is a website that will allow me to type in a link, and then it will show me the actual kind of format and hierarchy of that website. So like I mentioned before, humans see our website, with a design and font and color and all that, right? Google just sees text boxes, and those text boxes have a text tag wrapped around them to show that, or to show Google or the robot what importance it is. So you can see my website here. I have your dedicated Showit SEO specialist, and then view my SEO course and view SEO coaching. If we go over to Browseo, you'll see that here, your dedicated Showit SEO specialist, and then view my SEO course and view SEO coaching. You'll see all this up here. This is just those navigation bars up here. And then if I scroll down, this one as well. But we want to make sure that you can read, as a human, you can read from top all the way to bottom without getting confused. If you log into yours and you see these big red text boxes all over the place, and things are out of order, that's when you know, okay, I need to optimize the back end of my Showit website. So let's go into Showit, and I'll show you how you can actually do that. Okay. So let's take a look at the header section here, right? So in my design, I have a text box that says you're dedicated, and then a text box below that that says Showit SEO specialist, and a text box below that, and then a text box below that. Okay. So obviously in Browseo, that's how it's said, you're dedicated Showit SEO specialist, and then those two text boxes. Now on the left-hand side of Showit, on the page tab here, you'll see these these Showit elements that we can actually rearrange and reorganize. Now let's just, for example, take your dedicated. You can see that text box here. Let's say I move it up. You can see that it doesn't change the design, but what it does is it changes the way that the code is organized on the back end. So now let's hit preview, and we'll go back here to this tab here. So you'll notice you're dedicated and then Showit SEO specialist, but we just moved that element. So if we hit browse, you'll now see Showit SEO specialist and you're dedicated. But this site, even if I refresh, the design did not change at all. So that's what we want to be really careful of, is that all of our elements are in the correct order and not all jumbled up, because it may look correct in the design, but it's not correct on the back end. And if it's not correct on the back end, Google's going to read all of your text all out of order, right? So let's scroll down to this How Can I Help You section, and let's just take a look at the mobile version. I was playing around with this one earlier in a different example. So you'll notice that How Can I Help You? And then this at Moreno Collective, blah, 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 blah. And then SEO coaching, Showit SEO course, right? This is in order from top to bottom in the design. However, in Showit, the text boxes should start from the bottom and go to the top, because Showit is going to export every canvas from the bottom to the top, right? So let's just say we have "How can I help you" at the very top, and then this paragraph goes under it, and then SEO coaching, and then Showit SEO course, and then this one I don't need anymore. But we have these 4 text boxes, right? And it seems like this would be the correct order, right? So it's the same order as here. We have "How can I help you," then this, "How can I help you," and then the paragraph. But let's hit preview again and go back. And you'll notice again, all of it goes out of order. So "How can I help you" is now down here, and that paragraph is above it, and then those 2 links are above that. However, in the design, again, nothing changed. So that's what we want to do to organize all of the elements on our show website, is we want to make sure that if the design goes from top to bottom, the elements go from bottom to top. So we're going to bring that one to the bottom, and then this one's going to be second to the bottom, and then SEO coaching, third to the bottom, and then this last one here is the very top one. So again, let's hit preview, and we go back to Browseo, and we hit browse, and bam, it's back in order. "How can I help you?" And then the paragraph, and we go back here. If we refresh, you can see again, the design did not change at all. So that's step 2, is to go through and optimize the organization of your website so that Google can really understand. The next thing is going through and setting all of your text tags. We want to be able to select every single text box and just make sure that the text tag is correct. So again, looking at this website in Browseo, you can see I have one H1 here. And then if I scroll to the very bottom, there are no more H1s. If you see multiple H1s on your website, then there's a problem. We only want one H1. Now that your website's all in order, we can go through and select each text box and give it the correct text tag. So I want you to be able to read from the top of your website to the very bottom in Browseo, and it makes sense, like it's a document or report that you wrote, and it's all in order. Nothing should be out of place, and everything should be the correct hierarchy. Now, once you do that, the last thing is to go into WordPress and install some of these plugins, which I'll follow up with another video after this. If you guys have any questions at all, please let me know.